The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good morning, everyone. Tim Wilmot here from Wizard Systems. I'm joined this morning by my colleague, Pete Johnson. We're all working from our home locations right now. We're still in lockdown. This presentation is June 2020. And this morning is part 2 of a 4-part series on quoting from Workbooks CRM. Last week, we did quoting via a PDF document. Today we're going to cover perhaps more of a simpler way of doing quotes, and this is actually embedding the quotation within an email. Quite simple, dead straightforward, and really suitable for any more simple quotes you have or a quick quoting process. So this presentation will be about 10 minutes or so in duration. Just really an overview of this feature. We're not going to go in depth in email template creation, but my company, Wizard Systems, we offer lots of help options and training options if you want to explore those with us. Now, the audio part of this presentation is one way only. If you've got any questions around this feature or related questions to what we're talking about this morning, please feel free to type those questions into the question box on your meeting control panel, and Pete and I will do our best to answer those towards the end. This call is being recorded as well, so after the presentation you will get an email from our system with a link to the recording, which you can play back whenever you want to, and we'll put it up on our YouTube channel as well. Just before I hand over to Pete, just a quick mention about Wizard Systems. I think most of the people that are listening live right now are familiar with us. We're a long-standing CRM, independent CRM solutions provider. Workbooks is one of the key systems that we provide, and we offer any kind of service around Workbooks to make sure you get the most out of your investment. Help with implementation, customizing it to your requirements, training. Of course, right now that's all online. But hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll have our 2 training rooms open soon at our Bristol base, and we provide help desk support as well. We've got a permanently manned help desk, albeit we're operating from home right now, but it's business as usual. You've got any question about Workbooks, you just call us. Okay, so I'm now going to pass over to my colleague Pete, and we'll go through quoting within an email.
Great, Tim, thank you. And I'm just going to show my screen. So just confirm if you can. You can see my screen, Tim, and hear me.
Yeah, looking, Pete.
Good. Okay, so thanks, Tim. As mentioned, today we're going to have a look at quoting and sending that quote via email. Last week we had a look at the PDF, so I generated a quote. Actually generated a quote direct from the person in the organization last week. Today I'm going to have a look at just generating the quote from an opportunity that's being run. We're also going to have a look at sending that quotation via email. This is not as it was last week where we attached a PDF. This is where the body of the email is the quote itself. So quite a nice, modern, efficient way of sending a quote. I'm going to show you how to generate the quote in the templates area, so it's available. There's a nice little kind of pre-built sample which you can customize, but we'll have a look at that as well. So first of all, I'm going to go to an opportunity. Hopefully, certainly most of you that are online today are familiar with opportunities. Some of you may actually call them something different. I think there's a couple of membership organizations and so on. So this is the opportunity record that I have in my sample database here. And what I'm going to do is imagine we've gone through the sales process and got together the details at the opportunity level for the requirements the customer has with regard to a list of products at the bottom of the opportunity here. From there, though, I'm going to generate a quotation. Now, as I mentioned last week, we went straight to the organization and generated a quote, but I'm thinking at this point, what a common solution is to build the quote based on the contents of the opportunity. And I can do that very simply by choosing the copy document area at the top and choose to generate a customer quotation. In doing that, I get that kind of step here to say, well, actually on this, do you want to include everything in the quotation record that's in the opportunity, including the line items and so on? You can choose to change that if you wish, but I'm just going to go ahead and choose the copy option. So here I'm faced with the quotation record. You can see in the background I've got the opportunity record, and this quotation has the line items and all the detail within it. As discussed in last week's session, when you open up the quote record, it is currently and presented as a status of draft, which allows the day-to-day user to edit and change the quote according to the information that's required. You might put some comments in, you might add some different address details and so forth, and maybe even a for addressee only. Let's put Peter, let's put Archie in here actually, which is who we are sending it to. And so I've got all the details I need, and at that point what I'm going to do is choose to change the status from draft to a posted status, which is then not editable. So if I choose complete and save, it leaves it on the screen. This is a so once the customer has been completed, customer quotation been completed, it cannot be changed without special permissions. So I'm going to choose yes. Happy with that. And you can see here the status is posted. Now, once that's done, you can then send the quote via email. So at this point, I'm going to show you what I've already set up here. I have got a few emails here that I can send, one of which is the quick quotation here. And if I choose that, you can see up on the screen, really quick and easy for users to do, all of the contents of the quotation, including the line items, totals, and anything else that you might need, my signature files there, and so forth. And of course, you can just hit send at that point. Really quick, really easy to do. So at that point, it's able then, I'm just not going to actually send it at this point. You can add any attachments and so on as expected when you're sending an email. I'm going to discard that. But of course, when you send that, the record of that email will show in the contact information and also the email tab of the quote itself. But what I'd like to do is show you how these templates are created. The sample ones are great, but you can customize those really quickly and easily. And I would say this is probably an advantage over to the excuse me, over the PDF that we looked at last week, which you might need some technical assistance to change the design a little bit, but in here it's quite quick and simple for pretty much anybody to take care of. So the way you generate those email quotation documents are under the start menu and marketing and templates. We can go in here and we can generate a new template. So I'm going to create, this is where all of your email templates exist, but we're going to choose in this example to change an email template for a specific record type. And of course, that specific record type is going to be the customer quotation record type. So I'm going to click that option and be faced with the list of object types within Workbooks, and I'm going to go down here and choose customer quotation because that's the type of record I want this template to be operating under. Now, I've got a couple of options here. They give you a sample template, which is a great starting point, and that's the one I'm going to use. Or you could go from a completely blank template and build your own. but I'm going to go from this one here. So if I select this, I can now choose to give it a descriptive name. So I'm going to call it demo quotation here. Now I'm actually going to switch off the option for it to show under Notes and Google Docs. So in here I've got email, and also you can actually control the to and from. This is ideal if you have maybe managers and that need to see your quotes as they go out. So I'm actually going to, by default, CC Tim at Wizard, so that any quotes that go out can be CC'd to him. You can see here the body of the email is already built, and you can add new fields. It looks a bit strange at this point, but these are field markers which come from the quotation record and really easy to add. So here is that for addressee only field. So I might want to add some text to here and here I can add a field really quickly and easily. There's my FAO field on my quote, and you can see it puts a field marker in here which is going to be populated quickly and simply. I might also want to put a better logo in. A better logo in here. So I'm going to point to perhaps a wizard logo. This is in my upload library within Workbooks. So you can see here now I haven't done much changing to the demonstration one here, but it's quite useful, easy to change and customize around the sort of design that you might want. At this point, I'm going to save it. Also be aware that like any record or new templates and things like that you create in Workbooks, you will need to share this with the users that need to see it. So I'm going to share this with a set of users, which includes everyone. So I'm going to share it with the everyone group so that everybody can see it. At that point, what I'm also going to do here is make sure I add my signature to this. And this, whoever uses this, it will put their signature at the bottom. So at that point, I'm going to save and close. So if I return now back to the quote, I'm just going to do a quick save so that it refreshes the list of emails that I can use. And here I'm going to go in, and here is my demo quotation, which I've just created. Really simple to do, and you can see here it's got my logo I've just put on. I've put the FOA field here as well in terms of the quotation for, and the details of the quote in here with all of those fields. So of course we could have changed the columns and moved things around a little bit just to kind of show the detail that you want to when you send a quote, but again really simple to do. Okay, so there we have the ability to generate and create a quote within Workbooks, and also send it so the body of the email that you're sending becomes the contents of the quote. Okay, Tim, anything you'd like to add to that?
No, other than this is, as Peter's saying, it's a really simple way. You may have in your company relatively simple quotes to do, but maybe other quotation scenarios, situations where you would need to put your products and services on a more sophisticated form, and that's exactly the choice that you've got with Workbooks. You can choose these different mechanisms for communicating the quote to the client, and this is really a super way of doing it, certainly for quotes with not many items on them, simple quotes, simple formatting, low value. a great way of getting the quotes out there, and all tracked within the workbook system. And remember, every edition of workbooks has this quotation capability. So, but you can turn that. You don't want people to do certain quotes, or it may not be relevant to you. You can turn it off, but everyone's got that capability, and we can see the way of sharing that quote as well. So now we open out our session, as we do every week, to a little Q&A. Have you got any questions around this feature? I think there's just one question, Pete, from Jack. He's asking, is it possible to send a confirmation when you get the order?
Yes, is the very quick and simple answer. A couple of things there I would suggest. Tim just mentioned the different editions, and you have the quote capability within all editions of workbooks. So if you are in a CRM version, you don't get the option to convert this to an order. So you might well just mark it as ordered, save it, and perhaps one of your template layouts that you have that we've just created might be an email with some different wording on, order confirmation, something of that nature, with the details that you want to show. But if you do have the business edition, you actually have the ability within workbooks to convert the quote to an order, and then in a similar fashion send out an email relating to the order. So let me just show you that very briefly. So I'm going to go up to this copy document, and I'm going to take this quotation and I'm going to copy it into a customer order. And in doing that, again, I get that option. Maybe they didn't want all of those items on the quote, so I could actually choose to copy selected items into the new order. Maybe if I scroll down here, and I didn't want one of these, so I do want this one, this one, this one, but not the VoIP server here. If I choose copy, it creates the new order. There we have it, and you can see it's again at a draft status, so I'm just going to go straight into complete and save. So I've got this, so it can't be edited after the fact. There we go. And now, once done, I can choose to use an order template, and I've created this one in the past very quickly and easily in the similar way to I created the quote one. And if I choose simple order, you can see here custom order, thanks for your order, and so on, in a similar fashion. Obviously a very similar design, but that's probably what you'd expect. Okay. Thanks, Tim. Any other questions?
Don't think there's any more questions, Pete. So thanks everyone for watching, particularly those watching live at the moment. As I've mentioned, this is a weekly sort of mini training session. Every week we dive into a particular topic around workbooks and just explore that in a little bit more detail. So a sort of mini training session given out to the Workbooks CRM community. If you've got any ideas about future training sessions that you think would be of interest to other Workbooks users, we'd love to hear from you. So please email Peter at wizard-systems.com or myself, Tim at wizard-systems.com. But thanks very much for those listening live, and we'll catch up with you hopefully this time next week, where we're going to be doing, is it Word quotes or Google Docs next week, Pete?
Yeah, we'll do the Word one next week, and then the Google Docs one, I think, the following week.
Yeah, and the Word integration has just been introduced with Workbooks, so it's a very relevant topic, and certainly a great example of marrying up Workbooks with Word and getting a more sophisticated looking quote. So thanks very much, and we'll catch up with you this time next week. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks, bye.